We're live. Good. Welcome, everybody. It's a great ski day. Let's give a round of applause. Everybody. I know not everybody was able to actually come on the day, but you all helped make it happen. So thank you very much. And God bless us. It was a really nice day. So that was great. We have two auditing future student council members, by the way, here today. They want to see. They told me they'd like to see how mature young people act, so that's why they wanted to come to the council. They said that they'd been to Congress and that was kind of disappointing. So now it's really funny because apparently I didn't watch the State of the Union, but I heard about it earlier this month, and something was really encouraging to me. A commentator said it sounded more like the House of Commons than the U.S. Congress, and I'm like, yes, that is so cool because the Congress is usually so boring. You ever watch the House of Commons thing? It's the most entertaining thing ever. They are so much fun. They just, anyway.
I love that same thing.
If you're ever bored and your mom and dad are okay with it, you should go and look up Question Time with the Prime Minister. And just watch like the last 30 or 40 years of Question Times. It's very fun. They do this every week, and it's supposed to be like, you know, formally the time where the Prime Minister kind of gives an update to the House about what's going on. But everybody knows it's actually just pure theater. It's just hilarious because basically the Prime Minister sits here, the Speaker of the House, who's different from our Speaker of the House, is not an elected position, it's actually, he keeps order, or whoever, and they sit in this big chair, and then over on this side is the opposition leader. So, and then all behind them are all their adoring fans, or not, like all the backbenchers, all the people, and anyway. And it's just one huge hilarious thing. It's, you know, they're really, I don't know, like 30 or 45 minutes long, maybe an hour. And, you know, an issue comes up, someone brings up something, and the way it works there is if you stand up, you can say something about it, like about the question. But the rule is if someone outranks you in seniority in the government, they get to speak first. So what's hilarious, it looks like a bunch of hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujahs the whole time, you know, praise ye the Lord, like, because everybody's constantly, like, they all stand up because they want to, and then, oh, the Prime Minister wants to speak, so then they all sit down, or, oh, the opposition leader wants to sit. So it's like, you know, 50 people always stand up at the, you know, anyway, it's just hilarious. And they're very raucous and noisy, and they bang the tables, and they anyway, it's just hilarious. It's very fun. Their political situation is not necessarily very fun, but there's something very interesting about it because in some ways it's like the British have always had this really, you know, they're very dignified, they're very, you know, they have all this very high formality, but it's very funny because it's like, and they, you know, Americans are kind of the backward idiots who don't know how to do anything. But it's kind of like, I don't know what happened, like whatever however it works, they just have a whole lot more fun. And maybe it's because they're just so naturally high-minded and stuffy that they just need to let it go a little bit, you know, and we could maybe use a little levity. You know, it seems like in our history it's like you're either falling asleep or beating people up. That's kind of how the two extremes in our anyway. So I was like, all right, well, hey, we're finally moving to where, you know, maybe we have a little more excitement. I don't know. Did the Supreme Court justices fall asleep during the State of the Union? That always happens. Maybe it didn't happen this time because there was more excitement. It's like
did Biden speak?
Well, someone who looked like him anyway. No. Yes, he did. But apparently there was a lot more pushback from the actual House, like actually people actually yelling things from the, which is unusual. That's not been typically a thing. And it was kind of like, I think some people enjoyed it, I think, so. Maybe the Supreme Court justices especially, because those guys always look so bored. So boring. It's like, there's more excitement in our courtroom. Anyway. All right, so let me just pray, and then Josh can take over. Lord, thank you for the opportunity these students have to continue to plan. Thank you for how you blessed them. They've had good efforts this year, and I just pray you bless the rest of those and encourage them as they seek the Lord together. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's welcome up your president, President Josh.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, welcome. This is pretty great. This is the first time we've had this much people back here, including myself, for a while. I did speak in person at the mid-year's teachers conference, but this is workshop, so this is great. Thank you for coming in and watching. You two who aren't student council, all of you who are student council, thank you for coming and joining too. All right, so this is nice to be back. So first of all, like Mr. Joel said, Ski Day was an absolute success. It was really fun. We had an awesome time. We got a pretty good crowd of people. I know Michelle's, my cousins, we were all there.
15 people.
Even the Kellballs, so that was great. Thank you to everybody who came and participated. Also, thank you for going as our chaperone and WCFS coordinator.
Anytime you want to pay for me to ski with you.
Yeah, that was great. So that was awesome. That was really a special moment because that was our big trip that we were working for this year. That was our major focus for everything we were fundraising for. But that doesn't mean that we have passed the best part of this year. It just means that we achieved success, at least in some way. So there's still more to come. Really awesome things, hopefully. So we'll talk about that today, mainly. So also thank you to everybody who helped get us there, because there was a lot of hard work that went into that. I know Christmas bake sale, you guys helped. Mercy did a lot with her family. We sold a couple loaves too, so there was a lot of work, and then trying to get it planned out, that was kind of stressful, but but it worked out, and honestly it couldn't have been a better day. So it was great. So thank you. And we still have goals and visions for this year, even if a lot of the stress that was in trying to get to Ski Day, trying to get Ski Day to work out is over. Even though that's over, we still have a lot of awesome goals and visions. So we had a fundraiser today. That's an example. Great fundraiser. We sold sourdough bread. Mercy made. Did a great job with that. They looked amazing. I brought some cookies, and then we sold some chips and drinks too. And then even Truth Show, you sold some of your own chocolates. That was pretty great. So thank you for everybody who helped, who pitched in. We made about $97 just today. So that's great. That's great. Good job, guys. So that was also especially cool because even though we had talked about this for a while, we kind of only had about a week after Ski Day to really plan it out and get it together. So it wasn't as coordinated and you know, long planned out as probably I would have hoped, but it still was great. So thank you. All right. So to look ahead, then you probably may ask, and I know Nathaniel, I think you asked when we were doing the Zoom student council meeting, what else do we need to pay for? Like, because I know with the feeling, Ski Day was our big trip, so there's that kind of feeling like, okay, well, we got that done with. What are we paying for now? Well, there's a lot of things. First of all, we want to have another trip, hopefully in the coming months, to Gettysburg Battlefield. That's going to be hopefully an awesome time, and it won't be as expensive as Ski Day by a long shot, but there are some things there that we probably want to look into that will make the experience more fun, more enlightening, you know, teach us some stuff about the battlefield, about American history, etc. And just be able to have good time together as student council members. So that's one thing that we have a goal towards, Nathaniel.
Would we be bringing bikes or something, anything like that?
I mean, not yes to your question, I don't know yet, but, that's a good question. We will probably plan it out in hyper detail next workshop. I'm not really sure. I'll probably get a couple vague details, but I want it to be, I don't know what you guys think. You can say like, that's wrong, I want it this way. But I'm thinking maybe early spring, or sometime in the spring that we can go. That way it's warm and we can spend a lot of time outside. Because there are things that we can do inside, like they have a museum there, but also it would be really fun to be outside in the weather. We can talk about it more. We might do bike. I don't know if there's other options, so we'll talk about that more. Another thing that we should think about expenses-wise is graduation or senior class expenses. There's not much because WCFS kindly lets the graduates use the church as the building, so we don't have to pay like several $1,000s for a building. But there's some things, like I think you mentioned the speaker, the commencement speaker normally gets a gift for coming to speak for us, and I think that's like $100. So about $100. So that's a goal that I want to try to have enough for, and not just have enough for, but to exceed that. And I mean, just today we made almost that, so that's great. So, and then another big thing is next year. I know sometimes when we're planning any type of fundraisers or anything like that, we kind of think about what are we going to do with it this year. But the truth is, there's also stuff you can do with it next year, and it stays with you guys. So if we can get a lot of money into the student council funds, then even though I'll be gone and you'll have to pick a different president, you'll at least have a starting. So, and if you have a little starting buffer, you'll be able to use that hopefully as a stepping stool to quickly do any fun things that you guys want to do. I know some of you will probably be seniors that year, next year, so you might want to do something fun as your last year in high school. And it'll be helpful if you have a little buffer of money that's already there. So that's another thing that we can look at as we look at fundraiser ideas and stuff. So we'll plan on Gettysburg later. We'll look into these things a little bit deeper. We'll plan on Gettysburg later, but we can probably get a couple minute details down right away. Do any of you have any thoughts or aspirations for what you want the Gettysburg trip to look like?
I think we're going to be very busy in March.
Okay.
So it'd be better if it were less
Yeah.
than that.
So Mercy is right. I think a couple workshops ago I mentioned May as an option. We could also do April or May. Those are the kind of 2 months that I think would be cool for me, at least. I don't know, what do you guys think about that, April or May?
I think, I think May would probably be better because it'd be nice warm temperatures, not too hot.
And April can be
Yeah,
rainy
we're
sometimes.
kind of busy further towards the beginning of May, it's like with Jeremiah's graduation.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah,
And you said that's the beginning of May?
yeah, beginning of May.
And April might be kind of busy for us too.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely work out a date, like a singular date that works for everybody.
If you wait until after the beginning of May, you still have a really good shot at one more big fundraiser at Expo.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So even if that's the first Saturday in May.
Yeah. So, Expo, you said Expo's the first Saturday?
Yeah,
Okay.
6th.
Okay, the 6th. All right, so if we have it like right after the 6th or something like that, then we can have another one. Plus, I also want to talk about later, I want to try to plan something. I don't know exactly how big of a fundraiser it can be, but I mean, as we see just today, it was a pretty small fundraiser, but it got a substantial amount. So anyway, so I think May's a good kind of picture that we can look at, a good idea that we have. And do any of you have anything particular you want to do in Gettysburg? There is that museum there, costs a little bit, but there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Like, I guess I don't know much about it.
Okay. I mean, we could, like Nathaniel was saying, we could take bikes and bike the battlefield. There's a lot of paved roads, but some of my favorite areas to walk sometimes aren't paved. It's just like grass strips through the battlefield. So I don't know if you guys want to walk the battlefield itself or just around it. We could also go up to Little Round Top, which is a cool area.
Yeah,
And
we
there's,
also want to check if it's open, because I know
that's true.
it was closed for
Yeah,
construction.
I think that I heard it was open the other day. I don't remember. I could be wrong, but
You also, I don't know if anybody's interested in, but Bernie Beal also does tours,
mhm.
if that's something you're
Okay.
interested in,
Thank
reaching
you.
out to him about. You want to have your own
Yeah.
tour guide.
Do you know if he has like a group price or does he do by person?
I don't know, I imagine Bernie would be very interested in working with you guys since
Okay.
he has a partiality, well, okay. He likes all of us.
Yeah.
We're his friends. I didn't remember, I feel like
I think it was good.
he was very, I don't even know if he asked for anything when you guys did the field trip to DC. I mean, the bottom line is we did it, you guys ended up giving him something, I just don't remember
Okay.
what exactly. Yeah, I think he asked for something,
Okay.
but I think it was pretty reasonable, obviously.
Okay. So we can definitely reach out to him then as we plan more and ask him.
And I was gonna say, and even if he's not available or you don't have, Bernie is just an incredibly good wealth of resources, just like if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to know about stuff that other people wouldn't even necessarily know. I mean, he knows these places so well.
Yeah, exactly. So, so what do you guys think about that? Doing a guided tour kind of thing with Mr. Bernie Beal? He's got, some of you probably remember him, probably most of you, if not all. He's got a lot of historical knowledge, but through a Christian viewpoint, which is great. So, any thoughts on that? Okay, so, all right, so now for the graduation and senior, we talked about $100 for the speaker. And by the way, I don't know if there's a specific time, but to give you the information, I've been talking to the seniors about planning graduation.
Yeah,
So I don't
the
know.
short answer is as soon as possible.
Okay, so, I'll do that. So then, for next year, I would like to have the ability for you guys to have the most accomplishment with the least amount of struggle to get there. So, is there any goal that you guys want to set for next year, for the end of this year, but so that you have that next year? Because I think if we set a goal, it'll be real helpful to try to work towards it, and it'll be a finish line. I know this year we started out with a little over $100, almost 200, I think. So it was definitely more helpful than starting out with zero. But
It's 195.
195, so about 200. So is there any goal, like $300?
Oh.
Yeah, so 500.
Do I hear 1,000?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the more we get, the better it would be for you guys. But
And also,
yeah.
for, I guess, Roxbury, we might do like a sub sale there.
that's true.
And would you be there? Because I know.
You
That
better be there.
depends. Now, that would, is that technically under the next president? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why.
No, this,
I
do not
hope
be
not.
pinning anything on this guy. This guy, once he walks the plank in June, he's done. He's done.
My term is over and I'm not FDR. Wasn't it him who
Yeah.
kept, yeah,
Yeah,
just making sure.
You finally got a constitutional amendment for, you know, you never want a rule named after you.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought 300 would be okay, but I'm not you guys. I'm not gonna be worried next year. So, now you don't have to know exactly what you expend it for. You don't have to be like, well, I wanna do this and this and this, so we need $500 at least. But you can have a sort of logical, just, well, you know, this year we started out with about 200 and we had to raise this much to get it done. So, what do you guys think? 300 as a goal? I need to check sometime and get the final balance after ski day and then with today's money. But, now is it all in the box or is some of it digital?
Well, first of all, we still need to go and get the amount of money we have, is really just hanging around in the box too much longer.
Yeah.
So all the checks, except for the meeting today, those are getting deposited as quickly as possible, so.
Okay. So that, yeah, all right. So, I'm guessing, let's see, we had, was it 800 before ski day?
Yeah.
It was about 800, and then ski day,
823.
823, and then ski day was like 650 something?
620.
620 something? Okay, so probably left with like 200, 250 bucks, I don't know, somewhere around there. And then we just got 97 today, so we're looking at, we probably, just by estimation and quick bad math in my mind, probably over $300 right now. Less than 400, but probably a little
I
over
think you
300.
did have some taxes as well.
Taxes, yeah.
On the ski trip.
So-
Unfortunately.
We can probably just say 300. It might be a little less than that, but that's probably the average. Okay, so, but then we bring in some of the prices I was talking about, Gettysburg and $100. I don't know exactly how much Gettysburg will be. We can look into that. I'll definitely be doing research as we plan it more. But, and then we can also talk to Bernie Beal if you guys like that idea more than anything else. I'm going to be sending out emails to, asking you all your opinions more in depth. So, minus 100 for the commencement speaker. Let's say we have about $200 right now. It would be nice to get a good fundraiser and so that you guys have over that benchmark of $300. Thankfully, we have plans for more fundraisers, which is Expo. Yeah, was there archery?
Archery, yeah.
Was there a human dunk
Contest.
thing? I don't remember.
I keep pushing for it. I'll do it. You guys can get it, I will do it.
Mr.
Nice.
Joel, who's gonna pay for the document machine?
Yeah, that,
Well, that's, you guys didn't figure it out.
Wait, what?
That was like
It could be
$300.
primitive. It could be caveman style. We could, like, somebody,
Let's just not
Someone-
do
someone
like,
just
you
holds
know,
up
who can hit Mr. Joel's head and hit the water all go.
We could have
well, we
someone
don't
just-
have balls.
We gotta
we
find
have
a-
bricks.
That would really upend your fundraiser if that happens.
We can have someone standing on like a board and Mr. Joel.
Okay. So,
You guys can build it. You may wanna
so
build it.
anyway, we can have archery, what did you say the other ones were? Was that the only one we wrote down?
There was like an ice cream sale.
Ice cream.
Cotton candy.
I was thinking like throw darts, balloons with prizes.
Yeah,
Pay
that
so much
one.
to throw a dart.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those fair games that you can barely manipulate.
Although you wanna make, wait, so the balloons gonna be separate or like in a big clump?
You just like tape them up
Yeah.
and then just.
Well, what if it's,
I feel like sometimes they get really thick balloons, because I've hit them before and it just
Water balloon.
bounces off. Or it's just, anyway.
No, every single one of those games is rigged.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's an idea. I also really like the idea of bake sales, because for the most part, if you can get a good recipe and you get a good idea, like mostly type of breads, they can be inexpensive to make, or relatively inexpensive, but very, very cost inducing for the buyer, which helps us raise a lot. That worked with the Christmas bake sale, and it really got us a good chunk today, and she only sold 6 loaves, which is a lot.
No, we
but-
are also counted too, so 8.
Okay, so 8 loaves. So yeah, so it's nice. So I like bake sale. I don't know if you guys want to do that at Expo too. I don't know. The field day, do they stay for lunch too? Is there like a lunchtime?
Yeah, so the expo is expo, picnic, and field day. It's all
Okay.
one thing. So
And everybody brings their own food?
it's a potluck, and we provide the
Okay.
meat. We make chicken.
Okay,
Yeah, so you don't want to
Yes.
like the food. Doing food at expo would definitely have to be
a specialty
a
item.
specialty item, right?
Okay. So yeah, so there's some bake sale items that are specialty that some people would like. Otherwise, we can think of something else. So that'll be great for Expo. It would be nice, now you all can tell me what you think, but I think it would be nice to plan a coordinated fundraiser between now and Expo. Expo is May 6th, so we have a couple months. It would be nice, it doesn't have to be at workshop, it could be at workshop, it could be individual, but I think it would be nice to have a coordinated one that we can all pitch in and get a good chunk of money, because Christmas bake sale, that wasn't at anything, like it was just all individual, we were all just making loaves, but it was that one time, and we really brought in a lot from that. So, so does anybody have any ideas for that? Fundraisers? A fundraiser between now and Expo. I keep walking away from the mic, hopefully it hears me. I can write it on the board too if somebody needs to see. Unless there's no
idea for
marker.
fundraiser?
Yeah,
So we aren't gonna be there because we're gonna be at Toronto graduation.
I mean between now and Expo.
Oh, wait, fundraiser.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was.
We'll plan the fundraisers, but I will, Lord willing, be here on Expo, so
Yeah,
I.
I know, but I was talking about like the activity, like I was gonna be providing the bow, but I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good observation and knowledge. And we will talk about that hopefully more in the days ahead. So does anybody have any ideas for a fundraiser? It could be in March.
Are there any more workshops coming up? Do you know?
On March 22nd.
When is-
Well, March, there's one in March. Is there one in April?
No, March is the last workshop.
Okay, that's right. So we have one more workshop. Does student council keep meeting after that?
Well, the short answer is the student council can meet whenever it wants.
We We can do video calls.
So you have the option of doing a video call. I have not seen any student councils do really anything outside of those events, just because
Okay.
of practicality, but it's not that you can't.
Okay. Yeah. And I think for most of these things, especially since we have the big ski day already done and we did it and it's succeeded, especially because of that, I think most of the things now can probably be discussed over email. But we can use today's workshop and next month's workshop as our kind of final
I will throw one thing out there, that
Yes.
it didn't end up really happening last year. There was
Okay.
planning that went into it, but it still is there in terms of your capital, as it were.
Okay.
The yard sale, garage sale, there's still stuff in the basement that could be sold.
Okay.
And we tried to coordinate that with the expo last year, but got rained out, more or less. So that's just saying, the nice thing about that is that you got basically people bringing stuff in, and you didn't have a lot of overhead.
Yeah.
So, people basically donated stuff, or
Awesome. And that's all still
a
down
lot of
there.
that's still sitting in the basement.
Okay.
So,
And is that a sale for anybody driving by, or is it?
well, it would be up to how you guys wanted to do it. I mean, I don't know if any of you are experienced yard sailors, but it's, you know, you can do your own thing, or you can try to pay attention to if there's any other community activity. You know, the bottom line is that if you do it, you would want to do it probably on a weekend. It would have to be on a Saturday, which I know is harder for some people to do, and it would have to be relatively, you know, early, because yard sailers are cutthroat, and they get up early and they're scoping it out and whatever. But so anyway, so yeah, that's something to throw out there, because you still have stuff that, you know, you could sell.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like yard sale idea. Any thoughts on that? Were you gonna say something? Any thoughts on yard sale or a different idea that you guys like better? Or with the yard sale?
It needs to be planned ahead pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Weather needs to be watched.
Which would, yeah, it would probably, it might work in March. I mean, we'd have to plan it well, but like weather, in terms of weather. Okay, so yard sale is a good idea. All right. Anybody have another one, or do you think we should focus on that one and have that one be our big fundraiser between now and Expo?
We could like sell stuff like refreshments and stuff near that place.
Yeah, we could have the yard sale set up and then a
It
table
wouldn't
with
really
somebody
have to
like
be a yard
lemonade or
sale.
something.
Bake sale.
Yeah, we could have it at the yard sale.
You could say, buy one sourdough, you know, loaf of bread, and you get 3 items free, you know, something like that.
But the
Or
loaf of bread is
maybe we should do the other way.
$500.
Buy 3 items at, you know, $15 a piece, and you get
Yeah, yeah.
you get fresh bread.
Okay, so and then I guess the thing would be figuring out the prices for each thing. I don't,
That last year.
I've never really done a yard sale. I've gone to a yard sale, but, so I don't really know how they price things or how if they just stick it out there and be like, give me money.
You could do it.
Yeah, so the wisdom that I've heard from other people is that, you know, yard sailors are, you know, especially homeschool yard sailors, are you know, the most cutthroat, thrifty, you know, people, if they can whittle you down to half a penny for whatever it is that they want. I mean, so you're not gonna, but the benefit is that if you didn't pay anything for the stuff that you're bringing in and selling, you still make a profit on it. So, and if you can smile big and, you know, look like a good group of kids, which you are, you might, you know, you might loosen up that, you know, Scrooge-ish nature of people, and they might be willing to pay that full $1 for that, you know, shirt rather than willing you down to 50 cents. But also, I mean, it is interesting if you do something like a bread, you know, somehow. I mean, so just interesting thoughts. Like one of my favorite things I've ever seen, and it gets me. I love books. So when I see something like, whoa, you know, $1 of books. So I get, you know, a bag of books for $1. I mean, that's nice. I mean, so just doing stuff like that, you can actually, I think, get people interested in, you know, if like, so like, you know, 3 items for, you know, three shirts for $5 or something like that. So like, you know, getting those little, I mean, sure they are gimmicks, but just like stuff that actually like, oh, I do that instead of
like 2 bags of cookies for $5.
Yeah, that for instance, sold. But you know, rather than like meticulously, my little candlestick here is 50 cents, and I'm not parting with it for less than that, and that's just one candle. You know, then you have to pay 50 cents for the other candle.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to like, hey man, you get 3 candles for, you know, $2.50. How about that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Okay.
But yeah, you could talk and you could investigate that a little bit. Has anybody here run a yard sale or actually had their family has done a yard sale?
I always did in the car with Mom.
Yeah.
I've been to a bunch.
Yeah, we've all been.
So, do you set up like the night before or something like that?
5 o'clock in the morning.
So when we planned
Those are
this, when the
sense.
council planned this last year, they, you know, they had signs. I think we made signs, right, Truth? Never put them out.
Well, we
But-
could probably set those up like a week before.
Because you could, yeah, I mean, the main strategy is awareness, right? So, and especially if you do it here, you're obviously not exactly near a thriving metropolis. But, I mean, you all know how Colorfest is.
Mhm.
I mean, so if you, again, there are, you know, you understand there are people out there who are, they're watching the community ads, they're, you know, paying attention to like, you know, kind of, oh, we're, you know, and they're looking for places. And thankfully, 550, I mean, 550 is actually a really well-traveled road.
Mhm.
So if you advertise even by just, I don't think they even charge you to put like an ad in the, what they call the community circle on some of the places that go up on news websites.
Okay.
And then if you put a sign out, like you said, yeah, a week before,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people just see a yard. I mean, that's how we often were. Like my dad, like he'd see a sign for a yard sale, and like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Let's stop it.
Some of them are super personal. It's like, father died last week. Go get yard sale. It's like, wow,
Oh boy.
I didn't need to know that. Anyway, and yeah.
You could get a real sob story going on there. You know, we're a small little school.
We're all orphans, please.
We never have any fun. For that ski trip we took, nothing to hear about that.
Yeah, but yeah, there is a farmer, if you go up this road, and then you turn off, what road is that then branches off into Skunk Hollow? It's the Y when you get out of Sedosville.
Foxville. Is that
Yeah,
Foxville?
I think so. Anyway, there's a farmer on the right who normally sells hay and stuff, but sometimes he'll have a yard sale, and it looks like it's an untraveled road, but every time he has a yard sale, there's like 10 cars and there's people all walking around and going through stuff. So we probably, if at least we put up the signs like a week before or something, we might get a good crowd of people, depending on the weather that day. So we can definitely plan based on weather, but when you guys think? Like mid-March, end of March, early April?
So would we combine this with an expo, or would we just?
This would be before now and Expo. That way Expo is its own thing. It's not having distracted focuses, and we can make stuff off of Expo too.
And you wouldn't, when I talked to Gary a little bit about some of this last time, I mean, you wouldn't even, like, you would need to basically, I mean, you wouldn't even need, you could do it all day, but in some ways, if you're just like shooting from like, 8 o'clock in the morning to like, 1, you're gonna catch those people who kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to go longer, you could, but.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people probably have more open schedules than others, so if somebody, I don't know what my schedule would be like, but there might be someone who's like, oh, I can stay a little bit later and then pack it up once it's done, if there's anything left. Like, anyway, okay.
Well,
So-
if it's here, our family, basically all of our family, my family works here, so we can ride in the morning.
Yeah.
Stuff set up and leave in the evening.
Yeah, and I would definitely be here to help set up too, so. So what do you guys think in terms of date? You think like mid-March? I think early March would kind of, I mean, it could work, but it might be a little hectic, I don't know, to get ready.
Also,
It's
what?
pretty busy for us, I don't, but if you find a day, there's probably days that work.
Okay,
We should try late March.
late March, just as long as it's not the 25th.
And what type of day would we do it? On the 25th.
What?
It's his birthday.
Oh.
And then not on the
I can do it on my birthday, I just don't want to.
Happy birthday.
That's your birthday?
Josh's
Oh.
birthday. Michaela's birthday, Michaela Collins. Sure.
Oh.
Her birthday's the same day as that?
Nice,
March 25th.
nice, cool. So, we can do it end March, you guys like end of March?
Yeah, what?
I think my birthday's on Saturday. I mean, no, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, so,
Then we can't do it on March 25th.
So you can't do it on the 18th,
okay.
because we have a school board meeting here. So,
Karen's birthday too.
What day is the 18th? What day of the week?
Yeah, but I think there's some.
And I don't-
We should do it on the weekend.
as long as,
What?
like, if they're one of the Shell girls, they will be here.
Mhm.
I would not need to be here,
I think
Okay.
we might.
and so I'm not available the 18th or the 25th.
Okay. So, and those are both what, Saturdays? Okay.
But I mean, if you wanted to do it during the weekday, I suppose you could, it's just that you wouldn't probably get very good traffic.
Okay, yeah, definitely Saturday would be best. Is there another Saturday?
Do it on April 1st, that would be.
They come and there's no yard sale.
No,
Actually-
like you could, price everything like $100. Like, people would be like.
Actually, that's an option for the simple fact that it might stick in people's minds better if they see it on a sign. April 1st, yard sale. And
They
then
probably
they're
think
like,
you're joking.
Then you could do like no joke.
no, but then it makes their mind think about it. They're like, are they joking? Are they not? They come by April 1st. They're not joking. They pull in.
Whatever you want to think about it.
Just like serious, just have them all priced at like hundreds and then just have a sign that says -100 for all.
So I like April 1st. What do you guys think? I mean, we'll
You
definitely
just have to
see.
say like no joke or something.
I feel like if we put that
Real
on the
things
sign.
do happen on April.
People do in fact live on April 1st.
I'm not sure. I'm
You
not
could do it in front of everybody.
I'm not sure if April 1st is gonna work for me because for Civil Air Patrol, there's a Air National Guard cook detail.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
and
do you-
I do see, you guys don't even, the shells are gonna be gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure when.
Well, actually, I suppose you potentially could be back, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole.
So do you want to do, is it the 8th then of April? That's the next Saturday?
You know, I'm actually rethinking what I said about the 18th.
Okay.
The 18th is Kara's birthday, and Jeremiah and Michaela are gonna be here, and Charity's gonna have her surgery.
Perfect.
Charity will have her surgery the 17th, so
Who has-
18th.
Who
we're
has,
gonna be
who has?
Scheduling.
What's happening?
This is the hardest part of
Charity's
president.
having a heart surgery. And then Jeremiah and Michaela are coming in, Kara's having her birthday. It's gonna be really.
Sounds good to me.
So, yeah, sounds like all kinds of good, you know, put that all in the
Yard
yard sale.
sale goes
We've got,
up, you know?
we've got a recovering
Icing on the
patient,
cake.
we've got a birthday girl, we've got a newly, you know, this married couple that needs lots of money, and, you know.
What did you say, Nathaniel?
I was just saying, I believe you're still on video. It's still being recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind if they know that scheduling is the hardest part of being president. That's kind of.
Maybe you can send out a couple of dates and we can.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well,
the only reason I threw this truth out there is that, again, at any Saturday really in March is fine. I personally am not available for
Okay.
2 of them, but I don't have to be, as long as you
Okay.
When was
got-
your birthday?
25th.
25th. I thought that
And that
was
was
a
a-
Sunday,
It's a Saturday?
but I might be wrong.
Oh, that's a Saturday.
Okay, I was wrong.
Well, that spoils everything. No, I don't.
We could do it on the 25th.
No.
Does everybody have a Google calendar? You can just put in the dates if you're not gonna be there.
I don't know.
Or we can just send it in and then you can look at that match.
Maybe we should do it in April. Maybe.
What does the second Saturday of April sound like?
What
Does anybody like when I say second Saturday
That's-
of April?
that's,
the 8th, right?
That's the Saturday before Easter, which is usually not
Mm.
typically good.
Right, the Saturday right
Wait,
before.
why
Wow.
isn't it good?
Scheduling.
Why?
because
Because
it's
a lot
like
of people have Easter events. going on.
Hey, you can tell
We should do it on Easter Sunday.
April 15th is tax day.
Ah.
Tax day?
That's what people really
That'll
want us to
bring a lot of
have.
people.
That'll bring a lot
I
of
don't
people
want
out.
to do taxes. I want to buy.
Well, then you can tell them like, hey,
This
increase
is-
your, you know, your tax deductible gift.
Yeah.
Just,
This is tax deductible.
Just give.
They just pay us.
just give and you get some free stuff.
We'll get a random millionaire going through. He's like, here, take everything. No, anyway.
If you have something like
A
that.
random
tell me
millionaire.
about it, 'cause that's like, sounds really bad.
That sounds sketchy.
Yeah.
Especially if he's like out here.
Take everything.
Where are you running
Don't
from?
ask me where I got this. Okay. Okay. We can send out dates.
What is the first two?
What about
Saturdays of
I mean,
March?
Friday might work.
Friday?
Friday's a weekend.
Fridays we have soccer practice.
In the evening?
In March?
Well,
It's,
it,
yeah.
it's
When
in
does
the
yours-
afternoon to evening.
So it's like, it ends at like 5.
Well, yard sales start in the morning.
Well, you
That's
could
what I'm
like
saying.
be there in the
I
morning
won't
and
be
then
there in the
leave.
morning on Fridays, so.
I don't know if many people go to yard sales on Fridays though.
St. Patrick's Day is on Friday the 17th, so you could have
A
a
St.
St.
Patty's
Patrick's
sale.
weekend yard sale. And
Would that be in the
some
morning
people
or
can
in the
come on
night?
Friday and other people on Saturday.
We can sell some pictures.
A 2-day yard sale. That sounds
And
nice.
then on like Saturday, you can like burn all the excess stuff.
What?
Like Patrick did, you know, like the fire, you know, the Easter fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, okay. I kind of like that idea. So
Would
you
we
said
start in the morning?
that's the 17th and 18th?
Yep.
March.
What about burning? What?
March 17th, 18th?
When we start in the morning?
Write it down as a possibility. Yeah, morning. To set up, we'd probably get there earlier, but then Saturday, we could probably get there a little later because we wouldn't have to set up. We're probably like 5 a.m.
Wait, so
I will
we're
not be
Just
there
kidding.
on Friday morning.
So we're gonna have it on Friday the 17th. I think that's the option because that's the day that Cherry's having her surgery, and she's usually my driver.
Friday, the 17th is her surgery, and then the 18th doesn't work for you at all.
She'll still be down.
I mean, you're thinking it's gonna happen.
I'm saying we move it towards
Probably
April.
won't be able
We
to
move
do it.
it towards April, or farther, way
May I
farther
just-
up in
may I
May.
just interject?
Yes.
You are a collective council. So that means if some people can't make it, other people can.
Who can make it on the 17th to 18th?
We make the 18th, possibly.
18th? Possibly. I mean, this isn't set in stone, but I like one
Not gonna be able
good
to
idea.
Is it March or April we're talking about now?
March. Is that, are you guys, you're not gonna be gone then, right?
I don't know, it sounds like the top secret, I don't know.
I don't have you gone.
So we might be able to get everybody except you guys.
I might be able to find a driver,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a day now.
Mercy, when can you get your license?
Get your hours in quick.
Just hopefully nobody
When's
steals
when's
stuff.
Jeremiah Michaela get?
Why did you
They're
think?
coming 17th or 18th.
It'll probably be the
They
18th.
just,
Just tackle them.
then that ruins the vibe.
Jeremiah just needs to, come make an appearance as a big
Yeah,
shot
be
alumni,
like- Be like, welcome to, was he president? He was
Yes.
president.
The second
Welcome the
time.
former president. He'd just walk in like, I don't know, some
With a
old
cane?
president. Just, morning, America. Okay.
I'm not sure which president that was you just did.
Anybody but Biden for Jeremiah's sake.
Joshua,
Everyone
mean-
knows that.
I think that's common. Is that offensive to say on camera?
You said it, so
Everybody.
it's pretty bad. I didn't really
Too
care.
late. Don't say it again. Just in case.
Okay. I kind of
I
don't care.
doubt anyone, never mind.
There might not even be somebody watching. Anyway, okay, that sounds good. March 17th, 18th, you guys might be able to come 17th. That's not set in stone yet, but we'll be sending out emails and we'll try to set it in stone quickly. All right. That sounds like a good plan. Our buffer is $300 for next year. So, or not buffer, but benchmark. So if we can reach that. You have a question?
What's all this money being used for anyway?
Well, we use it for, number one, any seniors or anything that had costs, like, for instance, I was saying the speaker. Seniors, when they graduate, they have to bring in a speaker, and the speaker comes and gives a commencement address, which means they come up and they basically say, in my life, I've experienced this, and you should remember this. And then the seniors clap, and then you leave, and then we pay them $100. So that's one thing. The other thing is trips. Trips cost money. Like, for instance, we just had a ski day, and that was really fun, but it cost a lot of money, and we couldn't have done that except that everybody helped and pitched in and helped raise a lot of money. So those are two of the things.
All of the trips, are they for everyone that helps with the money, or
So
just for the family?
that's a good question. So when you're in the student council, if you help raise money, then you can get paid for it when you're doing something that needs pay. At least in a little bit. For instance, when we did ski day, it cost a lift ticket, which is to get on the lift to go up to the top of the mountain, and then it cost a rental, which is to get helmets, skis, and boots and stuff. The student council money paid for the lift ticket for everyone who helped raise the money. And some people helped, but they weren't able to come. So if you don't help, you don't get paid for it, but that doesn't mean you can't go. For instance, we had some people come who also
They paid their own way.
Yeah,
to
they
purchase.
paid their own way
Yeah.
to participate.
Okay.
So they can still participate, but just the student council money that was raised didn't go towards their participation. But they still had fun with the student council, because they're still in the student council, so yeah, that's what we use money for, basically. So, I think that's about it. We will Lord willing, have a good yard sale and then finish out strong with Expo. Thank you all for coming.